Starting us off at number 10 is Mason Disick and Jeffree Star. First of all, isn't Mason Disick like 9 years old? How the hell did he end up in a feud with the biggest YouTube beauty guru in the world? I'm confused. Here's what happened. For starters, Mason Disick is Kourtney Kardashian's oldest son, in case you did not know who he is. He recently started a fire in March 2020 when he went online and called Jeffree Star spoiled AF. But Jeffree fired back at him even though he is in fact, guys, 10 years old. Jeffree responded by a tweet and said, "I had $500 in my bank account 6 years ago. Maybe he's confused with his own privilege versus mine being self-made. Hopefully his father can educate him soon." Mason's dad is actually Scott Disick, who goes by the name Lord Disick, so the likelihood of that happening is probably pretty slim. Coming next, number 9 is Miley Cyrus and Nicki Minaj. We didn't really know about the feud until the very awkward public exchange they had at the 2015 MTV Music Video Awards. Miley was hosting the award show, but at one point Nicki was on stage saying her part and finished by saying, "And now back to the bitch that had a lot to say about me in the press. Miley, what's good?" You could tell that Miley was completely thrown off by the comment, and the spotlight awkwardly went to Miley and just faded out from Nicki. It was super uncomfortable. Turns out that articles were saying Miley had said some rude things about Nicki in the press earlier that week. But Miley ended up saying on stage, to kind of clear her name, that news outlets tend to twist the words of other celebrities and that she actually has no issue with Nicki. Sliding into number 8 is Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson. The majority of us probably thought they would be like brothers after filming together in Fast 5, but by the end of the movie series they strongly disliked each other. While they were filming the 8th movie of the franchise, Dwayne posted on social media saying he is dealing with a candy ass on set. Fans were confused at first because we didn't really expect there to be so much tension to a point where you're writing about it on social media. There were rumors going around at that time about these two fighting, so people just kind of quickly pieced that together. Dwayne later spoke about it and said he has put it behind him, and apparently their tension was so bad at some points that they actually requested stand-ins to film some of their scenes. Rolling to number 7, we have Chelsea Handler and Angelina Jolie. To be honest, I didn't even know that they had beef with each other, so that is how unexpected this one is for me personally. The tiff came after news broke of Angelina and Brad Pitt's divorce. Apparently Chelsea was not okay with their decision, and she did not hesitate to express her thoughts on it. She spoke about it and called Angelina a effing lunatic. It was later revealed that she had a personal issue with her because she once fooled around with her friend's man, referring to Brad Pitt's ex Jennifer Aniston, who is friends with Chelsea. But Chelsea later felt bad for her comments and said, "I'm upset that I was so upset with Angelina Jolie. I realize she is probably just trying to do her best too." Isn't that sweet? Yeah, you had really no say in their divorce, but okay. Up next, number 6 is Lady Gaga and Kelly Osbourne. Such a random pair of people to have an issue with each other. Like, do they even know each other well enough to have a problem? The battle between them started in 2009 when Kelly called Gaga a butterface on her show Fashion Police. Gaga responded with an open letter telling her that her show criticizes and rates people's beauty and that is wrong. The feud was ongoing for years until 2013 when Gaga tried to make a peace offering. The singer made an appearance in October on the X Factor UK, where she gave Sharon Osbourne, who was a judge, a cake to celebrate her daughter's birthday. Kelly was turning 29 and it just so happened to fall on that same day. Sharon and Gaga even took a smiling picture together with the cake, but Kelly did not accept it and wrote on Twitter, "Not to be ungrateful, but why would you send me a birthday cake via my mother in a country half the world away?" She then posted a picture of the cake to her Instagram with the hashtags "Eat my poo" and hashtag hypocrisy. But Gaga ended the feud and responded with kindness, God bless her soul, and she tweeted, "I didn't know it was your birthday until this afternoon, meant as a peace offering, happy birthday." God bless Gaga, are you kidding me? I would just take that cake home and eat it myself. Halfway through the list is Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall. All the Sex and the City girls seem to be like sisters from the outside looking in. But early in the TV series there were rumors going around that these two did not get along. In 2004, Kim admitted that money had something to do with it, revealing that Sarah received a higher salary, and when they did not agree with her financial demand, she quit the show. Down the road in 2017, Daily Mail reported that the third Sex and the City movie was cancelled because of Kim, stating that Warner Brothers refused to meet her demands and had to cancel production, despite the other girls being on board for another movie, and fans obviously very excited about it. Sarah has always said that Kim was a close friend to her, but there seems to be some weird disconnect because Kim told Piers Morgan that the other girls were always just colleagues to her. That's so awkward. We've made it to number 4, and we have Howard Stern and Lena Dunham. The whole thing seemed to be one-sided after Howard completely dissed her on his radio show back in 2013. He was talking about the actress and her HBO show Girls and said, "It's a little fat girl who kinda looks like Jonah Hill and she keeps taking her clothes off and it kinda feels like I don't want to see that." The whole comment was honestly very unnecessary, not sure where it came from, but Lena was able to laugh it off later on, and she actually called into his show to talk about it after he apologized though. He did end up apologizing for that random comment, and they were able to kind of shake it off. Taking over the third spot is Chloe Grace Moretz and Kim Kardashian. Another random feud that happened on Twitter and lasted way longer than it needed to. It started after Kim posted a nude mirror selfie on her social media pages. The selfie was obviously a little censored, but Chloe did not approve of her post and made sure everyone knew about it. Chloe commented on her post and wrote, "I truly hope you realize how important setting goals are for young women, teaching them we have so much more to offer than our bodies." Kim quickly fired back, pointing out that Chloe posed nude for her Nylon magazine cover shoot. Side note, she was actually wearing a jacket over her body, but she is nude underneath, so yeah. Kim tweeted in response saying, "Let's all welcome Chloe Moretz to Twitter since no one knows who she is. Your nylon cover is cute, boo." Kim's family even got involved after that, and Khloe Kardashian started tweeting at her too, and honestly it was just Twitter chaos. Taking over number 2 spot is Neil Patrick Harris and James Woods. Neil posted a photo of an 8-year-old boy with his family at Pride, and James tweeted a response that was incredibly inappropriate and offensive. He tweeted, "This is sweet. Wait until this poor kid grows up, realizes what you've done, and stuffs both of you dismembered into a freezer bag in the garage." I mean, who in their right mind says something like that to someone? To me, the only type of person to say something like that is someone who would dismember someone and stick them in the freezer. That is crazy. Neil responded by calling him utterly ignorant and classless and said that he should be ashamed of himself. Turns out Neil was actually very close with the young boy's family, which is why he took that photo with him. In the number 1 spot is Ariana Grande and Piers Morgan. The pop star picked a bone with him back in 2018 after he criticized Ellen DeGeneres, claiming that she drools over famous men's bodies and how if he did that towards women he would be called a pig. He also went after Little Mix and said that they use nudity to sell their records, not their talent. Ariana Grande got involved by sticking up for Ellen even though the comments had nothing to do with her. She tweeted at him saying, "Ellen is an incredible and kind human being. I use my talent and my sexuality all the time because I choose to. Women can be sexual and talented, naked and dignified. It's our choice. And we will keep fighting till people understand. I say this with all due respect, but thank you. Next." The two of them battled it out for a bit in tweets, but later admitted that they had a civil conversation and worked it all out.
At number 10, The Weeknd and the Grammys. The Grammys are one of the most prestigious awards in the music industry. Pretty much every artist dreams of one day receiving one, and they probably don't want to put their chances of receiving one in jeopardy. One artist, however, isn't interested in being on the Grammys' good side and would rather fight them than be friends. Singer The Weeknd announced that he would be boycotting the Grammys for the foreseeable future due to the unfairness of the awards. It's alleged that there are secret committees within the Academy who decide who gets nominated and who wins awards, and this has been the subject of the feud between The Weeknd and the Grammys. These allegations stem from the revelations made by former chief executive Deborah Duggan, who filed a 44-page complaint about the Grammys where she cited, quote, "The Grammys voting process is ripe with corruption. Members of the board of trustees and the secret committees choose artists with whom they have personal or business relationships," end quote. After his 2020 song Blinding Lights was snubbed of any nominations, The Weeknd blamed the alleged corruption for his snub, and he and the Academy have been in a war of words, so to speak, ever since. Other than the allegations of corruption within the Academy, The Weeknd also alleges that he was locked out of Grammy nominations because he decided to perform at the Super Bowl. Because of this music conspiracy, the singer released a statement in March of this year that read, quote, "Because of the secret committees, I will no longer allow my label to submit my music to the Grammys," end quote. At number 9, James Charles and Asian Doll. It's a little embarrassing for celebrities to get dragged online for something as petty as a Twitter feud. Like, imagine trying to clap back at someone just for them to clap back even harder, leaving the internet laughing at you. This is pretty much what happened between James Charles and rapper Asian Doll. It all started when the rapper tweeted out about makeup artist prices, where she said, quote, "If you charge over $150 to do a face of makeup, then you can go to hell respectively." James saw this tweet and it frustrated him a bit, to the point where he felt the need to respond, saying, quote, "What a stupid tweet. One foundation can cost $50, artists have to buy every shade for their kit, and that's just the first step. It's expensive to work as a makeup artist. Either pay an artist rate for their time and skill, or do it yourself, or get it done at a counter and risk looking busted," end quote. Asian Doll saw his reply and basically clapped back with a "nobody asked you" sort of message, where she basically made a dig at his flashback Mary look. The rapper tweeted saying, quote, "What a dumbass to be in my business replying to something that has absolutely nothing to do with you. I'm having a debate about hood prices, baby. Stay over there in Hollywood where they have you looking like a ghost," end quote. This little Twitter feud had fans laughing and memeing the whole situation, and criticized James for even jumping into the conversation in the first place. Now, before carrying on with the list, I'd like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also check out my gaming channel, Viper Girl, and hit that subscribe button while you're there. At number 8, Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. After their bombshell Oprah interview, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have been scrutinized for a lot of what they spoke about. One of the biggest things people are talking about in regards to their interview is their relationship with the rest of their family. According to sources, the most strained relationships are those between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton, as well as Prince Harry and his brother William. Meghan and Kate have reportedly been on poor terms for a long time, with some sources saying that they haven't spoken to each other in over a year. During the interview, Meghan addressed the public's view on her feud with Kate over Princess Charlotte's dress at Meghan's wedding, saying that Kate made her cry over it. Though they eventually patched things up and Kate apologized, they haven't been on speaking terms, not because of anything personal, but because of the feud between their husbands. There doesn't seem to be a lot of hate between Meg and Kate, but there seems to be a lot of tension since their partners aren't on good terms with each other. A source explained Meghan and Kate's situation in a statement, saying, quote, "There is real animosity that the brothers have towards one another, and that has spilled over to Meghan and Kate's relationship, making it very hard for them to be friends or even friendly," end quote. Hopefully they can one day patch things up for the sake of being rid of this negative energy. At number 7, Addison Rae and Bryce Hall. Two of TikTok's biggest stars and former power couple Addison Rae and Bryce Hall have been feuding with each other ever since their messy breakup just a few weeks ago. In March of this year, there were reports that the couple had split up for the second time after their relationship was bombarded with cheating rumors and scandals. These rumors first came about during a Zoom call with some of her fans, where Addison revealed that she and Bryce had been fighting, and so these rumors got off the ground and started circulating. Shortly after that, Addison made a cryptic Instagram post about how she wanted to keep some of the things she's dealing with away from the public eye. There was some speculation that this had something to do with Bryce, and this theory was embraced by more followers as they started to notice that some of Bryce and Addison's couple pictures had been removed from social media. Later, their breakup was finally addressed with a simple confirmation of their split. We don't know why they broke up or if the cheating rumors are true, but they are on and off again, so their feuding and fighting may only last a short amount of time, but we shall see. At number 6, Tana Mongeau and Cole Kerrigan. Influencers Tana Mongeau and Cole Kerrigan have been caught in a feud after Cole alleged that Tana hacked his social media accounts and tried to sue him for $100,000. It all started when Cole put Tana on blast by sharing a screenshot of a cease and desist text allegedly sent by Tana's lawyer. The text essentially warned Cole that he was in violation of a contract he had signed with Tana, and that a breach of contract would subject him to pay $100,000. The contract, it is alleged that Tana has her circle of friends sign a non-disclosure agreement each year, and so now Cole is in trouble after one of his social media posts violated the terms of said contract. Now, on top of this lawsuit, Cole also claims that Tana hired someone to hack his social media accounts, where they were able to delete a number of accounts like his YouTube channel and Twitter account. Cole claims that all of this drama drama is because he is one of the only people that Tana knows who isn't afraid to speak out about her. Cole has also claimed that Tana has kicked him out of her house, used him for free makeup services, and would even go through his personal belongings when he wasn't home. There haven't been many updates on this feud, but I'm sure that this is far from over. At number 5, Bhad Bhabie and Dr. Phil. If you're a fan of the show Dr. Phil, then you may be familiar with Danielle Bregoli, aka the Cash Me Outside girl. Danielle, now known as rapper Bhad Bhabie, was on the show because her mother was struggling to help her with her behavioral issues. As a result of her time on the show, Dr. Phil referred Danielle to a reform camp of sorts called Turnabout Ranch. The ranch is supposed to be a teen residential facility where they rehabilitate troubled teens. Well, recently Danielle came out to talk about her experiences at the ranch, recounting the abuse that she endured there and calling Dr. Phil out on recommending such a horrific place. The rapper claimed that she was apprehended by workers in the middle of the night, taken from her home and transported to the ranch where she was forced to stay awake for 3 days. She also spoke out about the facility's use of restraints on teens in attendance and how many other attendees cited many instances of abuse while at the ranch. Danielle spoke out about her experiences in her YouTube video, and she spoke directly to Dr. Phil, condemning his support for such a place and warned him that if he doesn't take accountability, that she would, quote, handle things her way. As of right now, Dr. Phil has yet to comment on the situation, but I'm sure that Danielle is planning her fight for justice. At number 4, Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo. One of the hottest songs out there right now is Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, and though it is seen as the breakup anthem of 2021, it's also got a huge backstory and a huge feud surrounding it. Essentially, Olivia wrote Driver's License after her breakup with her High School Musical, the series co-star Joshua Bassett. Apparently, this was a very messy breakup that turned into a very messy love triangle after actress Sabrina Carpenter was brought into the mix and started dating Joshua. Are you following? Okay, so Olivia releases a song with a few nods to Joshua's new relationship with Sabrina. Next, in response to Olivia's song, Joshua releases a few songs of his own, including one called Lie Lie Lie. And then, Sabrina released a song of her own that included references to Olivia, as the song was about getting into a new relationship while an ex watches on. Now, no one is saying anything directly, and it is a very read between the lines kind of situation, but it's still very messy and fans are obsessed. It could all be for PR, or maybe not, but it is certainly a very juicy story. At number 3, Prince Harry and Prince William. One of the biggest feuds on this list is one that I briefly mentioned before. Prince Harry and Prince William have been feuding for years, but with his exit from the royal family as well as his bombshell interview with Oprah, things may have gotten even more tense. The brothers have always had a strained relationship even when growing up. It is said that William adopted a more serious attitude, being the one destined for the throne, and Harry was more laid back and carefree. These two personalities apparently clashed a lot growing up and remains difficult to this day. Now, with the added strain on the family following Harry and Meghan's interview, William is reportedly furious with his brother. According to sources, William is struggling to hold back his side of the story, as the Queen has said that they would be handling the situation privately. Sources say that William is looking to defend his wife Kate, as well as clear up any rumors surrounding racial allegations within the family. Harry and William haven't spoken in a long time according to sources, and I don't really think they will be anytime soon. At number 2, Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood. After becoming friends on The View, Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood are now feuding with each other after they got into a very heated argument surrounding Piers Morgan's remarks about Meghan Markle. Sharon backed up Piers' comments about Meghan Markle's mental health, and this frustrated Cheryl. The two got into a very heated debate that ended with Sharon in tears, but this also sparked a conversation about Sharon's ideals. She was called a racist, and a number of other accusations came out about how she has used various slurs in the past when talking about her other co-hosts. As a result of this, Sharon was fired from the show and an internal investigation was launched. Cheryl said that she and Sharon were good friends, but because of this feud, they haven't spoken to each other. Sharon said that she tried sending Cheryl an apology text, but it went unanswered. We don't know if they'll make up, but it might be too soon to tell. And finally, at number 1, Conor McGregor and Jake Paul. Now I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet because there is just so much pettiness and I can't handle it. Basically, there is a one-sided feud between Conor McGregor and Jake Paul. Jake wants to fight Conor, and Conor's like, meh. Jake has been seen all over social media antagonizing, posting videos, and calling him names, and even bribing the guy with a $50 million check. Really, it's very childish, playground type drama that no one besides Jake really has the time for. After all his antagonizing, nothing really ever came of it. Conor hasn't fought Jake and probably never will because of how annoying he is. Sorry to all the Jake Paul fans, but you kind of have to admit he's gone a little too far with this one, right?
At number 10, Saweetie and Quavo. Singer Saweetie and rapper Quavo recently announced their breakup, and it was kind of messy. It first started with a simple heads-up tweet from Saweetie telling her followers that they had broken up, but shortly after, footage was leaked which showed the former couple fighting in an elevator. Though this footage was from a year ago, it gave people a look at how their relationship was at the time. Their feuding was only now brought to light as they were sort of exposed for being toxic. Both Saweetie and Quavo have said that they've moved on from this incident, and Quavo clarifies that he never abused his girlfriend. Their breakup has caused some feuding within Quavo's family as well, making this an all-around unfortunate and toxic time for them. At number 9, Cardi B and Candace Owens. Just when we thought the WAP controversy was over, in walked Candace Owens to rehash it. After performing the song live at the Grammys, Cardi B was faced with WAP backlash again, as Candace called her out for the imagery of the song and performance. She appeared on Fox News discussing the performance and calling it a, quote, attack on American values, saying that it was weakening American society and that the dancers that night were, quote, actively trying to make children aspire to things that are grotesque, end quote. This led to both women feuding on Twitter, taking jabs at one another, and really just making for a very toxic environment. Things could have just ended there, but then lawsuits became a threat. Candace tweeted saying that she would be suing Cardi over alleged screenshots that were shared, and Cardi threatened to countersue. There haven't really been many developments since then, but I hope that this online feud does not make it to the courts. Now, before I go any further, I would like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video, and also check out my gaming channel Viper Girl if you're looking for some extra content to enjoy. At number 8, Lil Nas X and Candace Owens. Candace Owens really is out here feuding with everyone because she's not only fighting with Cardi, but she also has it out for Lil Nas X as well. Nas has been in the news recently for the backlash surrounding the satanic imagery from his Montero music video, and in response, Candace said that people like Nas are what's, quote, keeping Black America behind. When the singer saw what Candace had been saying about him, he clapped back at her, calling her a flop and reminding her how successful his music really is. In return, Candace tweeted saying, quote, yes, you successfully got used by corporations to help further destroy our youth. Congratulations on being a pawn in a game that you don't likely understand. We can take cheap shots on Twitter, or I can welcome you to have this discussion with me publicly because it matters, end quote. Candace is a very outspoken person, so it's not surprising that a feud like this would come about, but fans are still defending Nas no matter what, and the singer doesn't really seem to care about her opinion anyway. At number 7, Khloe Kardashian and the internet. Now, this may not be the biggest feud out there, but it is definitely strange. Recently, Khloe found herself in a bit of a scandal after an unedited photo of her was accidentally posted to social media. The post was quickly circulated on the internet before being taken down, and Khloe has been trying to cover it all up since. She says that she's insecure about that photo because of how she's portrayed, and that she blames the internet and social media for the way that she sees herself, as she always has to look perfect. She's so serious about blocking this image from people that she's saying that she has every right to issue a lawsuit in order to get it taken down from the internet. Now she's feuding with the internet to take back this photo, as well as fans, because she blames them for the whole thing, saying that their pressures of the ideal appearance is what's leading her to such extreme lengths. At number 6, Clarissa Shields and Jake Paul. In my last celebrity feud video, I mentioned Jake Paul and his feud with Conor McGregor, but now there seems to be a new feud going on in the boxing world between Jake Paul and Clarissa Shields. It's again a little more one-sided, but a feud is a feud, and Jake is surprisingly not the one who started it. In a recent interview, Clarissa had some harsh words for Jake and his brother as she called them out for not being real boxers. In the interview, she said, quote, I think Jake Paul and his brother are more like clown shows, to be honest. But they're making money, they're using their platforms, but it's not real boxing, end quote. Clarissa also said that she could easily take Jake in a fight, as she said, quote, I would whoop Jake Paul's ass though, just because he thinks boxing is easy. Clarissa is an Olympic level athlete and Jake is a YouTuber, so I think when it comes to a fight, I'm on Team Clarissa. Jake has not yet responded to her comments, but I honestly wouldn't put it past him. At number 5, Winston Marshall. Sometimes the most devastating feuds are the ones between friends. The banjoist from the band Mumford & Sons, Winston Marshall, faced cancellation recently after he was called out for praising a book that, quote, condemns the destructive rise of Antifa. And this drama caused a huge rift and feud between him and the other members of the band. This all went down after he tweeted the author of the book, calling him a brave man for publishing this book and praising its content and views. As a result, tensions rose within the band because other members just couldn't get behind Winston's ideals. A source close to the band says that this bombshell greatly impacted the band, creating tension within the group. Things got so tense that an emergency band meeting was called where they discussed the matter and came to the conclusion that Marshall needed to take a step back. It was then announced that Marshall would be leaving the band and would be using his time off to, quote, examine his blind spots. After facing this backlash and being kicked out of the band, Marshall tweeted a series of apologies to everyone that he offended, saying that he understands that people, including many of his bandmates, have been hurt by his comments, and also saying, quote, for now, please know that I realize how my endorsements have the potential to be viewed as approvals of hateful, divisive behavior. I apologize as this was not my intention. Not much has been heard from him or the band on the matter, but no one really knows if he'll ever be welcomed back in the future. At number 4, JoJo Siwa and Bhabie. A couple of weeks ago, the internet had a wait, what kind of moment, as there was seemingly a feud going on between JoJo Siwa and rapper Bhabie. It all started when the rapper released his song Beatbox Freestyle, in which he says the lyrics, "You a B, JoJo Siwa." B as in the B word we're not allowed to say on YouTube. People were very confused because it seemed like there was some drama going on between the dancer and the rapper, because no one would just start a feud for no reason, right? Fans were left wondering what JoJo did to leave Bhabie so mad like that. JoJo Siwa feud started trending as people tried to scour the internet looking for the spark that started this flame. Some fans from both sides even started fighting because of this supposed feud. Well, it turned out that there was absolutely no beef whatsoever and people just got mad for no reason. But that's the internet and that kind of happens a lot. The rapper cleared things up when he clarified that he was talking about himself in the song. Since his real name is Jonathan, JoJo for short, and Siwa was interpreted as a twist on CY, that's why he mentioned the YouTuber in the song. To further clarify things, he tweeted JoJo saying, quote, my 3-year-old princess is your #1 fan. Don't let him trick you into ever thinking I have a problem with you. My wordplay just went over their heads. All love on my end, shorty. End quote. At number 3, Joe Rogan and Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas feuding with someone really isn't a new thing. I mean, she has a new beef with someone every week, but this time around she's feuding with someone that I honestly wasn't expecting. Comedian and podcaster Joe Rogan is next up to square up with Trisha Paytas, and it's all because of some comments that he made about her on his podcast about Trisha's appearance. On a recent episode of his podcast, Joe and guest Ali Makovsky were discussing Trisha Paytas and her OnlyFans, and when he was shown a photo of her in a bikini for reference, he quipped saying, quote, you can keep that. Well, Trisha caught wind of his comment and came firing back. She decided to clap back at Joe, saying that he has small pee-pee energy, and also went on to say, quote, there's a lot to come for me for, but to look at a photo of me in a bikini going, ugh, you can keep that, why? I've heard Joe Rogan is highly intelligent. Honestly, I look at that and I'm like, he has no intellect whatsoever. He can't come up with a wittier quip, and if you know I'm not your type, you don't have to say anything. End quote. People thought it was uncalled for Joe to make comments about Trisha's appearance, but what do you guys think? Joe is probably now on Trisha's radar, and I'm sure this won't be the last we hear from their feud. At number 2, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. With the recent divorce announcement from Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, we're beginning to see how their marriage cracked and crumbled, and how things are now. Though they had been putting on a brave face for a long time, it turns out that they had been feuding a lot. Things got so bad that they felt that their relationship was crumbling towards the end of last year, and they made the decision to seek different living arrangements, spending some time apart as a result of the, quote, downright toxicity in their marriage. The hope was to find a way to make things work, especially for their kids' sake, but according to sources, it reached a point where, quote, bickering turned into nasty blowups and confrontations. They tried to take some time apart as to not expose their kids to this kind of negativity, but their constant feuding became too much to handle. After Kanye reportedly blew up at Kim during a recent argument, they were never able to patch things up after that, and so they filed for divorce. Though they're trying to keep their divorces as private as possible, the Kardashians' testimonies on their show, as well as many sources coming forward, is making it kind of hard for their divorce to remain quiet. They're in a constant feud now as they separate themselves from each other, but I hope things don't get too chaotic for them. And finally, at number 1, Piers Morgan and Meghan Markle. Even though it's been several weeks since Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's bombshell interview, news sources are still talking about it, and there's one person in particular who just won't let it go. Piers Morgan has been very vocal about their whole interview, especially regarding the things that Meghan had said. Though there has been a lot of scrutiny from many sides, Piers is almost the #1 person to go to for Meghan Markle scrutiny. It's gotten to the point where you could call it a feud, even though it's more one-sided. Though in recent weeks, their feuding has been about the things that Meghan said in the interview, like her comments on her mental health. Apparently, this hate goes much deeper. Piers has been outspoken about Meghan ever since she ghosted him in 2016. After that, he's been talking about how she was, quote, prepared to cut people. He would make comments about her family and about her and Prince Harry's decision to leave the royal family, calling them, quote, the world's most tone-deaf, hypocritical, narcissistic, deluded, whiny brats. During the Oprah interview, Meghan opened up about her mental health, saying that there was once a point after marrying into the royal family that she wanted to take her own life, and Piers spoke out about this on Good Morning Britain and said that he, quote, didn't believe a word she said. After Piers made those comments, he started to face backlash as people condemned his comments on Meghan's mental health. Even though he's faced scrutiny, he refuses to take back anything he said, adding to this heated one-side feud with her.